we look at why this is the good time for us to look at Indian textiles and Indian clothing market. It's kind of late in the day, isn't it? Most of us have gone and binged during the lockdown and visualized ourselves in amazing kind of clothing. So why is this conversation now coming up? It's all done and dusted. I have a saree from every state in the country. I have every kind of handloom in my wardrobe. So why this conversation? Why now? We should be talking about the saree bonanza that happened. I think it was in 2016 that I started studying this, and I started noticing that there was an increasing number of women who are educated, who are able to work via social media to communicate on the Indian traditional wear, which is the saree, and also afford to build a persona around our saree wearing person. The rest of the world has always looked at saree as a very traditional wear of India. I think this entire group of educated women, I should say emancipated women, have actually done a lot of work and justice and value to our sweltering looms, to the dyeing looms and the handloom sector in India. It is truly a revival. It started very innocently with a group of women who got together to communicate via their individual choices that they are aligned to the value systems of the Indian handloom industry. I think it's also a very beautiful way in which the cultural alignment that people showed to the Indian value systems became very evident. Today, it's the saree rage is something that is slowly coming to a place where it is stabilized, and it is probably started a descent. Fantastic work in terms of bringing across the variety of traditional weaves across India, the kind of versatility with which our weavers are able to do very unique kind of designs and patterns, all the fabric. I just hope and trust that we will evolve from here further into adopting these fabrics beyond the 6-yard fantasy of a saree. This is something that has to be told. From a social and economic perspective, I would say it is a disruption. I think today, if you look at people who have developed a style of wearing their sarees, especially influenced by social media and social media sellers, they stand to represent a truly new value system and are a bridge between those who are working women who do not have that style of working. After all, saree is many of us, including me, we were all brought up wearing saree every day. So saree is a no-brainer. I mean, nobody thinks twice about, how many people think twice about wearing a t-shirt or a pattern shirt to work? It's just what you do when you have to go towards doing whatever activity that you've got to do. So saree was something that was kind of taken for granted. And the price we have paid at that period of time was that entire market of saree selling, while it was unorganized, which is a very important point to note, was also selling in volumes what was traditionally polyester sarees. So if you look at Vimal sarees, if you look at garden sarees, if you look at all the ads that came out during the 80s, well into the 90s, it was very rare that you saw somebody who had a wardrobe which had only cotton sarees, for example. Silk, yes, based on what their lifestyle was, and if they were a celebrity, there would be a lot of silks. If they were an artist, a singer or a dancer, they would have a lot of silks. Cottons was still a rarity, very frugal in purchasing of cotton sarees. And today, if you go and visit the wardrobe of somebody who's well versed in their fabrics from India, hats off to them. They've done an amazing job. On a lighter note, they've also managed to divide the Indian map into parts based on what weaves that place is famous for. So much so that I remember in Karnataka, in a weaving sector which is belonging to the border with Narayanpet. There's something known as Narayanpet saree, which is supposed to be from Andhra, because physically that piece belongs to Andhra area. And there is something known as a Bhagyanagar saree, which comes from the Karnataka side. Now, if you look at pre-independence maps of India, these were all weavers who as a community had settled themselves into certain areas of India, which has got bifurcated after independence into different states. If you go to Kerala, there is something known as Kasavu saree, which comes from Kerala, which is made on the edges of Tamil Nadu in an area called Palghat, where the weavers do it very differently from the way it is done as a traditional Kasavu saree. If you ask Keralite, they will swear that that is not a traditional Kasavu saree. If you ask somebody from Narayanpet, they will swear that that is not a Bhagyanagar saree, is not a traditional Narayanpet saree. So we've also managed to split the map based on areas from where certain traditional weaves have been made by different communities.